What is up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Now, I haven't done as many of these guide videos recently because, like, with the new season changes coming and everything, anything I was saying now will probably be outdated in a month, right? But this is one I actually did want to make. Now, I know a ton of you will be pushing to climb with the end of the season, and these are some actual tips for getting there specifically right now. Like, I've tried to talk about stuff that other YouTubers probably won't have. The first thing is win streaks actually make a really big difference when you're trying to climb. Like, one loss can make a big difference, to be honest. The best way I can show you this is with an example, right? If you play 5 games, if you win 3 and lose 2, then you actually gain like 1 game worth of LP. So like plus 20-ish from where you were before. So if we win 1 more, if we just win 4 and we lose 1 instead, we actually have a net 3 games of LP. So we get plus 60-ish from where you were before. You can see how much it means. This, if you play 5 games, you lose 2, you only get plus 20. If you only lose 1, you get plus 60. Like, it actually means a lot when you're trying to climb. This is why you never give up. It means you keep trying in a game, you play your best every time. Losing 1 game actually means way more than you think it does, and this is why you don't really troll around. So the meta right now, what your aims should really be, and like for the easiest kind of games, I guess, like I'm not saying other stuff doesn't work, but this is what you should focus on if you want an easy win. So there are 4 things really. You want to win lanes, you want to gank bot lane a lot, sadly, even as an AD carry I'm saying this. You want a team fight, you want to have some engage, and you want vision and pinks later. That is the easiest way to win. The first thing though is the first group of the game. So the first team that actually groups and like charges down a lane, normally when everyone groups, the other team doesn't straight away. It's really strange, but in most games, if you group first, you're probably going to get more out of it. Like, someone is still farming lanes on the enemy team or in the jungle and stuff. It means it's like a 5v3 or a 5v4, and dives are so easy like that. You get towers, you get kills and stuff after. It's so good to extend your lead or come back in a game. So make sure you group first. So with the 4 things I said before though, why they're so important, like winning lanes is great because grouping is basically the name of the game now, as I just said. If you win your lanes, it means you're stronger when you start to group, and it just makes the whole game much easier. Plus, people are going to give up and tilt as well. Bot lane ganks, it's an easier tower, it's more kills, and also we're having like immobile pushing lanes at the moment, which make it very easy to get behind them and kind of cut them off, like sandwich them together. With team fights, engages normally wins games. So this is something that I talk about actually quite a lot, but basically fighting first lets you pick the fight and you have the upper hand. You want to make sure that you have some kind of engage on your team, because if you're ahead and you have no engage, you have no real way to close out the game. You have no real way to use that goal lead, and it can just stall the game out and let the other team back into it. With vision, face checks are just so overpowered in this game, honestly. Like pink wards and sweeping objectives and stuff, you just wait for them to come towards you. It's such an easy way to play the game. It's so simple. Anybody can do this no matter what elo you're in. I know in bronze it might be a little bit harder to get your team all in one place and stuff like that, but think about it, the enemy team are more likely to face check you anyway, so it's like pros and cons. Finally, comps do actually matter as well in this meta. You want a good team fight. Just have some AoE damage, some crowd control, and some engage. You have those 3 things and you're always going to stand a chance to win the game. The next one is talking about match histories, kind of the players you're against, and this is especially for the top of the leagues. For example, it will be like gold 2 to plat 5, or like plat 2 to diamond 5. It'll just be that top like kind of bracket in each bracket. A lot of you might think I'm a dick for this, honestly, but everybody does it. It's part of the game. Most people just don't talk about it. So towards the end of the season, everybody tilts much harder because they really want to climb. The more you care, the more you invest in the game's outcome, the more you get frustrated when you're losing, or like you do actually lose. For most people at least. So what you really want to do is you want to look up your match on op.gg or another site like that before the game starts in the loading screen. Look at the games played on the champion and mostly for the enemy team, win rates with it, KDA. You want to work out firstly how good someone is with that champion, and if you have time, you then want to check the players who are the newer champions on their recent history, like the ones that aren't that good at the champion. If they're playing champions they're not great on or haven't played much, chances are they've lost a lot of games recently and are kind of a bit tilted already. They have the mindset of the like, it doesn't matter what I play because my team is going to feed anyway. If you find someone like that, you really want to gank them over and over. You roam to their lane, you put them behind, be deliberately annoying and make them feel targeted. 90% of the time that person tilts off the face of the earth, and there you go. Like, you've just made your game a ton easier. Funnily enough, this isn't anything bad actually either. You can do this to anyone, and that is how you're supposed to play. You make one person really weak on the enemy team, you put them massively behind, and you exploit that weakness you've then created. All you're doing here is deciding which one of the enemy team is unlucky enough to get spanked by this. So if they're in your lane, you just play aggressive, you ask for ganks. If they're in another lane, you try to roam to it, maybe even with your jungler for a 3-man, you dive them. It's harder for an AD carry or support to do this, but not impossible. You take your tower, you roam to their lane, and you take theirs. I know it sounds a bit scummy, but genuinely this actually works, and people are going to be using this against you, so you might want to use it against them as well. Next, I want to talk about how much you want to play, muscle memory, habit, tilt, looking at yourselves and stuff like that. Now, you really can play as much as you want as long as you're still hitting your CS and you're playing well. This is the most important thing. You want to look at yourself when you're trying to climb. If you play badly, that's when you want to take a break. But if you just lose and it's unlucky or a close game, you don't actually have to, because you haven't done anything wrong there. You're not always going to win games when you play well, right? Everybody knows that. So if you're playing well and you lose, it doesn't actually matter. You should be still playing well into the next game as well. You also want to play the same champions as often as you can, or at least a pool of like 2 or 3, something like that. It builds muscle memory, and even when you're playing quite a lot, you still play well because you're autopilot and do the right thing. You don't have to think about the obvious things as much, like how to do your combo, what you want to do in the game and stuff like that. And actually, like, that's good when your brain isn't 100% after a few games. If you're playing a lot this weekend, make sure you play your main champions. The next thing is dealing with tilt, because losing games are going to happen this weekend. Everybody is going to lose, and it doesn't matter. Okay, you still have time, so just take a quick break. You play something else, you go have a shower, I don't know, whatever you want to do. You come back fresh and you play again though. That is a really important thing. Just take a break after you tilt, because you don't want to play when you're frustrated. Dodging is another thing. Dodging games is something a lot of people say don't ever do, but actually the first dodge of the day costs 3 LP and you lose no matchmaking rating, no MMR. The thing is, if your team comp absolutely sucks or they are trolling, use that first dodge, right? It's actually a very legit tool that you should use to climb properly the entire season, but especially right now. Now, everybody always asks me at the end of the season, do I play my main champions or do I play what I think is overpowered? And honestly, it comes down to you. Right now though, the best champions to abuse, I think, would be Jace, Zac, Syndra, and Miss Fortune. These 4 are just so above the rest at the moment. They are really, really strong. Now, overpowered champions like that are fine to play if you can actually play them anyway. In theory, it increases your chance to win because they are just naturally very strong as champions. The thing is, you have to know why they are overpowered, why they have a really good win rate, what they are good at. For example, Syndra is very strong anyway, but she's good at getting picks and just one-shotting people before a fight actually starts. That is what you have to use. You don't really want to sit back and just team fight with her. You want to catch that one person and annihilate them, turning the game basically into a 5v4. Jace as well, you want to get a big lead early in the lane phase and just roam around everywhere using that poke to take towers and force fights. So if you don't do that, Jace isn't very overpowered, so you have to know what he's good at. If you focus on abusing that aspect, then you can get away with just playing overpowered champions and climbing with them, but main champions are still a safer choice, to be honest, especially if they aren't going to be taken away from you. Playing them over and over and over is really good for climbing quickly. The final thing is just like, you have to know the impact you want to have in a game, or your goals, I guess. You really do need to have an impact and make every game count, because what we talked about earlier, like one loss can actually make a big difference, right? So you have to make sure every game counts. The easiest way to do this is to pick a cooldown, and every time it's up, you try and use it. So for example, in the jungle, like a Vial, you mean you go and gank someone. An Ariel in the mid lane, you kill that lane opponent, or you go and roam with it. A Jhin ultimate, you fight and then you snipe to kill. Even a Sonar ultimate or something, you set up a fight. It could be as simple as an Alistair combo. As soon as your combo is up, you just look for the enemy team and you think, okay, can I get an engage here? Some smart ass in the comments is always going to say, what about a Nivea's ult? Like, that has no cooldown. And yeah, you're right. Okay. It doesn't work for everyone, but 90% of the time you can use this. Because literally every game matters so much right now when you're trying to climb, just in like 4 days we have left. Like, you really try and need to do this and not just coast through the game. At least if you use this, you'll be able to do more in the game. You will stand more chance of being able to carry, and you'll impact the game a lot more earlier. In theory, if you do this over 10 games, you'll stand a higher chance of winning those 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Anyway, I tried to keep this nice and short and sweet because I just want to give you the points and let you go away and play some more and continue your rank grind. I hope you guys get to the next league. If you do, make sure you tweet me. Good luck, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.